If you want cheap Microsoft points and game codes, check out g2a.com. Link is in the description below.
Hey guys, it's Melvin70 and today I'm bringing you my BPL Matchday predictions versus TheMrAcee as well as JoshGembo94. He's going to drop in for a few of these episodes with his predictions. I asked him on Twitter and he said yeah, he's up for it because he's very, very passionate about it. So big shout out to him. His link will be in the description. Hopefully he advertises this a little bit on his channel and on Twitter, so hopefully I can gain some subs from it. That's obviously not the biggest priority, but it would be nice. It's always nice to grow. So if you are from Josh Gembo's channel, then welcome. Hopefully you do like some of my content I put out. I've got the traditional stuff like squad builders, pack openings, but I've also got my own series like Who Performs Best and a pack discarding series with TheMrAcee and a lot more. So hopefully you do enjoy my channel if you are new. So the scores, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work with Josh coming in for the random episodes, but against TheMrAcee he's pulled it back. I think it is 15-18 currently. I think I'm winning by 3 points, so I need to get some big results in this episode. If you don't know how it works, there will be a link to the introduction of this series so you can understand the score guidelines, etc. But to be honest, it's just 1 point per correct result, and then for correct score, so getting the exact score, for example if it's 2-1, I get 3 points, and then we tally that every single episode, and currently I'm winning 18-15 against TheMrAcee. I'll have Josh's predictions as well as TheMrAcee's predictions as a side-by-side comparison after I've went through these 10 games. Another quick note, me and TheMrAcee started this on BPL Matchday 12, so this is the 4th episode, which is why the scores are only 15-18. Don't worry, we didn't start this right at the beginning and get no scores, because anyone who's watching this as a brand new may think, oh, you're a little bit retarded if you've only got those kind of scores. But yeah, this is the 4th episode we've done this for, so I thought I'd clear that up. But anyway, let's get straight into the predictions. In game 1, we've got Newcastle going up against Chelsea. Now, obviously, Newcastle have just drew against Burnley 1-1, and Chelsea beat Spurs 3-0. So both teams have differing forms. I mean, Newcastle before it, fantastic. They had 5 wins on the bounce. Then they lost, and then they've drawn. Whereas Chelsea are undefeated, and only Sunderland, Manchester United, and Manchester City have held them to a draw. So, to be honest, Newcastle are plagued with injuries. They've got Tim Krul out. I think Sissoko is back, though, and so may Rolando Aarons, their youngster, may be back. Sissoko from suspension and Aarons from injury. So that'll be a big positive for them. But the quality of Chelsea, I mean, Diego Costa's coming back, and even if they didn't have him, they've got Remy and Drogba, who both scored in the last game against Spurs. So, you know, it's got to be Chelsea for this game. As much as Newcastle's in new improved form looks really, really impressive, I just don't think they've got the quality to match up to Chelsea, and I'm sure many of their fans will probably agree. I mean, hopefully they can get a result at Chelsea, because you know, the teams below them will be wanting them to slip up, so they can obviously try and catch them. So I'm going to go a 2-0 Chelsea victory like I did last week, and I was just shy of it. They won 3-0 obviously against Spurs. So the next game is going to be Hull against West Brom. Now, Hull for me produced a very, very shock result. I predicted Everton to win 3-0. I mean, after the game against Manchester United, Hull provided nothing in that game. I think they had like one shot, easily saved for David De Gea, and I expected Everton to walk all over them, but they didn't. So credit to Hull for getting a well-earned draw at Everton. I saw the highlights, and yeah, very decent game for them. West Brom, on the other hand, lost 2-1 to West Ham. I did predict them to not even score, so to be honest, I wouldn't be too disheartened if you're a West Brom fan losing to West Ham. They are incredible this season, so it's going to be an interesting game. Personally, I can't really split them too much, so I think this is going to be a 2-2 draw. Let me know what you think. The next game, we've got Liverpool going up against Sunderland. Now, Sunderland, they can play very, very well, as you saw against not Manchester City, against Chelsea, but then they got dismantled 4-1 to City. They usually beat City at the Etihad 1-0. They've done that 4 years in a row, but they got battered 4-1 at courtesy of Sergio Aguero, basically. So That's their side of things. Liverpool, on the other hand, finally got a win. Who were they playing again? I have completely forgot. It was Leicester, wasn't it? Leicester, they won 3-1. So their confidence is going to be a bit higher. The captain scored, so did their vice-captain, Gerrard and Henderson. So maybe they can grind out a result, but if Sunderland are resilient and sit back like they did against Chelsea, Liverpool are going to find it extremely hard breaking through. I'm not sure if Balotelli is eligible to play. Obviously, they're missing Sturridge, whereas Sunderland, you know, they are, apart from the Southampton 8-0, defensively they have been solid, and I suppose the 4-1 against City. So this one's another unpredictable game. But you know what? First time I've predicted this, I'm going to say a Liverpool 1-0 win. But I wouldn't be surprised if Sunderland get some points at this game, especially if they sit back as they did against Chelsea. The next game is QPR versus Burnley. Now, Burnley obviously drew 1-1 against Newcastle, and QPR got beat 2-0 against Swansea. Swansea are a very well-organised team, got an all-round team, so for QPR that isn't too bad. But to be honest, considering that other games like against Liverpool, etc., where they dropped points when they should have won, it's a big kind of problem because they are in the bottom three, I believe, still. So they're going to be looking for some revenge. Burnley, though, good draw in the last game against Newcastle to fight back. I thought they'd lose that, but they didn't. So this is going to be a high score in my opinion. QPR are going to edge it 3-2. I reckon Danny Ings will get on the score sheet for Burnley. And QPR, I wouldn't be surprised to see Leroy first score. He's been pretty good for QPR this season, so we'll see. The next game is going to be Spurs versus Crystal Palace. Now, Spurs got beat 3-0 against Chelsea. It's not the end of the world. It's Chelsea. They're 6 points clear. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, got beat 1-0 against Aston Villa. They were playing Benteke. Benteke was the only goal scorer. So, for me, in this game, I expect Spurs to bounce back. Crystal Palace have been fairly poor since their win against Liverpool. So, for me, Spurs are probably going to edge this 2-0. Harry Kane does look incredible. Eriksen's been doing pretty well, as well as Mason. So, you know, I think they've got a bit more quality than Crystal Palace. So, I'm going to say a 2-0 win for Spurs. In the next game, we've got Stoke versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal relied on Sanchez again to get a last minute goal, well, I think it was the 89th minute, against Southampton to beat them 1-0. So their confidence maybe a little bit higher. Wenger got out of jail yet again. Stoke, on the other hand, lost against us 2-1. And to be honest, they did look fairly good. I think we did deserve the win, even though they were piling on the pressure at the end. We should have closed the game out well before that, but that was down to our mistakes more than Stoke. So, for me, Stoke can be a solid team, and they're at home, so they're going to pose a threat, because Arsenal have a flimsy defence, and the CDM playing Flamani or Arteta there is their real issue. So maybe if they get hit on the counter with Juve, you know what, I'm going to say this is going to be a draw. I'm going to say 1-1. I reckon that Stoke will sit back and play 10 at the back like they did for a lot of the game against Manchester United. And, you know, I think it's going to end a draw. So 1-1 in that game. The next game, City versus Everton. Now, City have obviously just came back from a big win against Sunderland. 4-1, Aguero again courtesy of that, and Everton drew 1-1 against Hull, which is kind of disappointing. Everton recently have been really poor. I mean, they lost against Spurs, now a draw that they should be winning against Hull. So, you know, if you'd have asked me 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have predicted a draw in this game. But for me, if Aguero's on form, Everton don't have a hope in hell. No matter how good their players are, like Baines, Coleman, I'm not even sure if they're available. I think Coleman might be injured. I might be completely wrong. I haven't actually looked at Everton's injuries for a while, so I could be wrong with that. But I think City are going to win this 2-0. I really hope I'm wrong with this one. Actually, I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1, I reckon Lukaku will get a goal, or Naismith, or they've got so much quality, like Marias, etc. I'm going to say 2-1 to Manchester City. I really hope I'm wrong with that one, though. The next one, we've got West Ham versus Swansea. West Ham have been incredible this season. They really have. They just beat West Brom 2-1. Very good result for them, whereas Swansea won 2-0 against QPR. So both teams coming into fine form. Swansea have a really good team. West Ham also have a great team. You know, it's going to be a battle of evenly matched sides, even though West Ham are higher in the table. I think it's only just, actually. I think Swansea are in the top half as well. So for me, this has draw written all over it. I mean, I'm not sure if Sakho's back for West Ham, Diafra Sakho. Not sure. If he is, then that's going to be a big plus because he's obviously scored a lot of goals in the early parts of this season. Whereas Swansea have Wilfred Boney, who's on fire as well. So I'm going to say 2-2. Think it's going to be relatively high scoring and it's going to finish a draw. In the penultimate game, we've got Aston Villa versus Leicester. Both teams have been pretty poor, but Villa did grind out a result against Crystal Palace. Obviously, Roy Keane is now left, so maybe added pressure on the players has been lifted, and they can actually, show their worth. And Benteke is back, which is obviously a huge boost. He won them that game by scoring the goal, whereas Leicester, on the other hand, lost 3-1 to Liverpool. They were winning at one point, I believe, since Mignolet scored that ridiculous own goal, but they couldn't capitalise and they couldn't get any points, and personally they're looking one of the worst teams in the league. Obviously, since I keep saying this, but it's true, since they scored 5 against us, they've just went down in form so much, and considering how well they did do against us, I'm really surprised that they have done that poor. But I've got to say Aston Villa again. Aston Villa are going to win this one in my opinion. 2-0, Benteke getting on the score sheet again. Hopefully he gets some steady games where he gets some goals. It would be good for him and Aston Villa in my opinion. Hopefully Cleverley gets on the score sheet. That would be pretty funny. Don't think he's scored for Villa yet. I could be wrong though. And the last game is Southampton versus Manchester United. My team. So I'll probably have a 2 to 3 minute freaking review on this. But anyway, Southampton obviously lost 1-0 to Arsenal, and against the top 7 they played 4 teams currently. They played Manchester City, fair enough if you lose that, which they did. Arsenal, fair enough losing that, which they did. Liverpool, not so much fair enough losing that, but they lost that on the opening day of the season. And then Spurs, again, should you be losing that if you want to get Champions League places? Probably not. They've lost all 4. They haven't even got a point. So against the top 7 from last season, they have been fairly poor. Obviously, they've been exceptional against other teams. I mean, Sunderland, 8-0, crazy. Whereas us, our form is now starting to go back up. 4 wins on the bounce. Only Newcastle have had more wins in a row, I believe. Obviously, their run has now ended. So if we do win, then we'll match theirs going into the Liverpool game. Rooney should be back. I think Van Gaal, basically Rooney said he was fit for the Stoke game, but Van Gaal said no, I don't want to risk you, but we'll play in the Southampton ones because it was just a little knock with the scoreboard, the sideways boards. He ran into that and slipped on that. So basically, yeah, he should be back. Big positive. Hopefully Falcao is finally fit. I can't tell you how much I want Radamel Falcao to show his form that he did it for Atletico Madrid and Monaco. Hopefully he's fully fit and can start ahead of Robin van Persie, because although he tracked back, which is something he hasn't done all season, last game, he just didn't show much going forward. Again, yes, James Wilson should have passed to him and he should have had an open net tap in, which was a good run for Van Persie. Gotta say, he makes good runs, he can hold the ball and he can shoot, but he just doesn't have pace and he doesn't have as much creativity as he did 2 years ago, although he's making some decent runs. Falcao, when I've seen him, like the 15-minute run-outs, he just looks a lot more deadly, as though he's going to get a goal. Obviously 15-minute run-outs when you're trying to close the game isn't really going to prove anything. So for me, in this game, I think we are going to win. I generally believe, because Southampton have been so poor against top 7 from last year, I reckon we're going to get a result. We're on a massive high at the minute, probably the highest we've been since Ferguson left. So for me, we're going to win 2-0. Our defence looks a lot more solid now. Rojo and Smalling actually look like BPL defenders now. Smalling especially, since his red card, has just rejuvenated himself, which is fantastic to see. And yeah, even with the injuries we've been hit with, like Di Maria, Daley Blind, Luke Shaw, etc., I think we've got enough to see off Southampton, even though they've got a lot of quality in their side, like Wanyama, Mane, Pele, Tadic, etc. They've got a lot of Schneiderlin, but I think Schneiderlin's injured. He usually holds the key in central midfield for Southampton, so that's going to be a big miss for them. So I'm going to say 2-0 to us. So let me know what you think the predictions are going to be, and now I'm going to have a side-by comparison with me, TheMrAcee, and JoshGembo. I always try and pronounce his last name, but obviously his YouTube channel is Gembo. So we'll have the side-by-side comparisons. Right, so all the predictions side by side. This is how I've done it. Obviously, I've got me on the left, and then I've got the TheMrAcee, then Josh on the right, side by side, so it's easier to compare. So yeah, we've all got Chelsea to win against Newcastle with different results though. I have said that Hull will draw with West Brom, whereas both of those think Hull are going to beat West Brom. Liverpool, we all think Liverpool will win just by a different scoreline. QPR, me and the TheMrAcee, well, and Josh actually, all three of us believe QPR will win. I've got a different scoreline than those two though. And then with Spurs, we all think Spurs will win. Stoke, I'm the only one that think Stoke are going to draw with Arsenal. They both think Arsenal will win. Man City, all three of us believe that Man City will win. Again, all three different scorelines. And this is the most interesting one. West Ham, Swansea, I think they're going to draw. The TheMrAcee thinks Swansea are going to win. And Josh thinks that West Ham are going to win. Aston Villa, all three of us think Aston Villa are going to win by different scorelines again. And then me and the TheMrAcee think Man United will win 2-0, whereas Josh, who also supports Man United, thinks they will win 3-1. So yeah, a lot of the predictions are different. Some of them are the same, so it's going to be fairly interesting to see how the points total add up. So yeah, as I say, both these guys' links will be in the description, the TheMrAcee and Josh. Go and check them out. Hopefully you do enjoy this type of video as well. And yeah, if you're new to Josh's channel, please hit subscribe. And hopefully you do enjoy the rest of my channel. Peace.